Hi friends, this is Krish and today I'm going to tell you in a nutshell what happens to people who go to the sales offices of builders looking for property, could be under construction property, could even be ready possession property. What happens to people who go into the builders sales offices? Of course, I'm going to talk about bad stuff. Sometimes nothing bad happens to people. Yes, there are lots of people to whom nothing bad happens. They get the house they want, they buy the flat they want, and they are quite genuinely happy. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about another bunch of people who end up very unhappy because they lose a bunch of money. They lose a serious amount of money, or they are forced to buy a flat that they don't want, and later on they suffer from consequences that will affect them for the rest of their lives. They suffer from financial distress, they suffer from anxiety, they suffer from having to live in a house they don't like, basically, that is wrong for them, stuff like that. Let me tell you 2 or 3 incidents. Now, I'm not going to name any builder. The reason is there are this kind of thing which I'm going to narrate is very typical. It happens with many builders. So let me start by telling you the case of an ordinary guy, a rickshaw-wallah, who went to a builder's sales office for an affordable housing project. He went with the idea that he would buy a cheap house, a house that he was able to afford. He was quite conservative about what he was likely to be able to afford. He, however, took his wife along with him. Now that, it turned out, really spoiled his judgment. It kind of made him do something he shouldn't have done and commit to buying a house that he should not have committed to. Here's how it happened. He takes his wife and lands up in the office of this builder. He's very frank. He says, I want a flat of not more than 30-35 lakhs max, because that is all I can afford. The builder salespersons at first say yes, they will show him that, and then end up showing him more expensive properties, and finally end up saying that the less expensive properties are not available. So they end up taking him towards around 50 lakh rupees and said that if you are not able to pay 50 lakh rupees, you will not get a house. Not only you will not get a house here in our project, you will probably not get a house anywhere in any project, because this is the current price in Mumbai. Now, this was in the outskirts of Mumbai, in the region of Dombivli. So there are some township projects. It was one of those township projects. This guy says, I don't think I will get that much loan. The builder's office, the sales guys, bring a guy along. They call someone from their office and they say, this chap here works for a bank. It was ICICI Bank or HDFC Bank or one of these banks. This guy here works for a bank. Now the guy is wearing a kind of identity card on his shirt, which shows that he works for a bank. And that chap convinces the rickshaw driver, based on no paperwork whatsoever, just calculations, things like how much do you earn per day? Okay, based on this, how much do you earn per month after taking out the costs of petrol for the rickshaw and all that? What is it that you save? And so on and so forth. He did some very quick mental calculations. Based on that mental calculation alone, the ICICI bank guy or HDFC bank guy basically convinces him that here is you are eligible. You are eligible to get a loan of around 45 to 50 lakhs. He says, I will have to do some efforts. Now, please note, these are not employees. These are not bank employees. These guys are direct sales agents. They are called DSAs. Direct sales agents of banks like Axis Bank, HDFC, Yes Bank, ICICI. These guys sit around in the offices of builders at the time when people are coming. So here's what happens. This lone chap convinces the rickshaw driver that he is capable of getting a loan of around 50 lakhs. And he says, I will put in a word with my seniors because you are so sincere and all that, blah, blah. Having put him into that positive mindset, the builder's sales guys convince him, and more importantly, convince his wife that this is their one and only chance at happiness. And then they also say that, listen, today is your lucky day. We are actually running a clearance sale and we are, tomorrow we are going to raise the prices. But today, for you, it is not 50 lakhs, it is 45 lakhs. So there is a price reduction of 5 lakhs. Now the rickshaw driver understandably says, you know what, I'll go home and think about it. I'll ask my relatives, give me some time to revert to you guys. To which the sales office chaps say, nothing doing, you're not getting any time. You see, this deal is on the table as long as you are on the table. If you leave, if you go out, if you leave the premises and then you come back, sorry, this deal is over. We will not be able to proceed with this particular deal, and you are getting an amazing deal. Today you are getting it at 45 lakhs, tomorrow you may get it at 55 lakhs. So you're saving not just 5 lakhs, you're saving 10 lakhs. Tomorrow onwards the prices are changing. Also they gave him this sense of there are only 2 or 3 flats left. Only 2 or 3 you should choose among them. We will confirm whether the third one is available or not, because it is management quota or something like that. But the other 2, one is on 14th floor, another is on 5th floor or some such thing. And by the way, this is an under construction. Nothing had been constructed, but these guys are like, oh, but everything is booked. Everything has gone like hot potatoes, like hot cakes, and there is nothing left. Unless you book now, we will not be able to give you this once in a lifetime opportunity. And boss, you are about to buy a dream house, and so on and so forth, and everything will work out for you. They pressured him into swiping. He didn't have a lot of money on his card, so he ended up swiping some 10-15,000 on that day. And he also, there was one more factor here, because his wife was with him. He was under enormous amount of pressure to please her. You see, if he had said no and if he had left, which is what he wanted to do, his problem was that his wife would have said he was a loser and, you're the guy my mother told me not to marry, and that kind of thing. So basically, he was under pressure from his wife to please his wife, and he went overboard. He was very sure that he could not get a loan of more than 30 or 35 lakhs. He had done his arithmetic. He was quite clear. But he let the direct sales agent of the bank override his common sense, and then he let the sales guys, the builder sales guys, pressure him, and it got pretty late in the evening. It was like around 8 or 8:30 in the evening, and they were, these guys wanted to basically leave, but they were sitting there with him and negotiating and basically trying to convince him. And there was this enormous amount of psychological pressure, because it is you enter into a state of tunnel vision. The idea that you get, the idea that this guy got was, like we say in Hindi, abhi nahi to kabhi nahi. If not now, then never. So this feeling of if not now, then never, this is my great opportunity, this is the one opportunity of my lifetime, I am getting an amazing deal, it's the deal of a lifetime, and so on. Very bad logic, no logic whatsoever. Okay, it is very unlikely that you land up in a builder's office and it is your lucky day and they are going to give you an amazing discount, and that's complete bullshit. But the thing is, a lot of people fall for this bullshit. So long story short, this guy swiped around 10,000-15,000 that day, begged them to give him time to give them more money, and in the next couple of days he ended up giving them about 1,20,000 or something like that, which is 120,000 rupees. And afterwards, when he went to the bank and they did proper calculations of what loan he was eligible for, he found that he was only eligible for about maybe 30-35 lakhs at the most, by really stretching it, more like 25 to be comfortable. Now this was the kind of loan limit. So he said, how am I going to pay off a loan of 45 lakhs? Where am I going to get the extra 25 lakhs, 20 lakhs or 15 lakhs? That extra, the gap between what I get by way of loan and what I'm supposed to pay for this. So he wanted to cancel, and when he wanted to cancel, they said, sorry, our policy is we don't refund the amount. Sorry, you have forfeited 1,20,000. Now that kind of money, it takes a rickshaw-wallah enormous amount of time to save up about 120,000. Takes, a common man might take 2 or 3 or 4 years to save that kind of money, maybe even more. And he just lost it on that single day. Now, I talked with him, he narrated his story, I told him we could fight. He kind of lost touch with me after calling me a couple of times. A lot of the people who call me and I tell them we can fight, we can do it, we can get your money back and so on. Some of the people stay the course and fight. Others don't want to do things like sending emails, making videos, following up on phone. It just gets too uncomfortable for them. And after following up with me for 2 or 3 or 4 days or a week or even 2 weeks, they give up. They stop being in touch with me. They drop out. That's it. I've told you this one story of the rickshaw-wallah who was promised a bigger loan than he was actually eligible for. I will tell you more stories. I'm going to tell you stories of people who have contacted me, but I have not made these into videos. They are there, the stories are there for various reasons. They have not been made into videos. Without all the details, without burdening you with the exact story of the people, I will tell you a bunch of these stories in the next couple of days. I am Krish, the Urban Naxal. I hope you learned something from this story. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, and take care.